Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my show. And today we're going to be looking a little farther into and working on a little farther into our Linux privilege escalation Python script that we've been working so diligently on to try to make something cool and, for myself at least, learn a little more about Python, become a little more prolific in that programming language so that I can use it and be a little more well-rounded in my skill set. That's what it's all about, right? Making ourselves grow better and better every day. Hopefully you are, and hopefully I found you well. And if you've liked what you've seen so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button and join us, be a part of the crew. Doesn't cost you nothing, so why not, right? Got to get those subscriber counts up. That's what everybody tells me anyway. And like, share, comments. I do love comments. So please, if you feel so inclined, or you got something cool to say or to add, contribute to the conversation, maybe just a little bit, hey, throw a comment in the comment section. I try to get to everybody, if at all possible, and reply if you've got something cool to say. So I look forward to seeing you there. Until then, let's get back into our script. I had a neat idea here for myself here, or at least for our script, is, you know how I was talking about, let me bring this up here, mouse pad. I was talking about how I'm going to make this very menu driven, right? I like that, having the options, giving the end user control over what's going on. Well, I had to juxtapose that with the idea of it running from top down. Just, hey, fire and forget, there's a script, it runs, output gets generated, and you're done. It's kind of a hands-off process. There's pros and cons really to both ways of doing things. And I thought to myself, why can't you just do both? And I said, you shut up and don't talk to me like that. And then I thought, well, no, maybe he's right. And then I had this inner monologue conversation of, hey, crazy person, you can do both. It just takes a little bit more work. Now, I did have to do some testing. Here's our script as we have it now. And there's a couple of things we can add to this. We can start doing like the root service check, maybe some beautification. But how it works at this point in time is, and we can take a look at this, is, if we do /Python, Linux priv esc, there we go. We got the main function. I can choose the option I want, enter return to, and it kind of just does this right now. Other than the first function, it just kind of drops into this where it's printing out, letting you know you've made it to the right place, right? Because we have to add more functionality to that. But if I wanted to do a option where I said, hey, run everything, and just do it in, I'll give it an order. It doesn't really matter what order in which it runs, but do everything, run like a full scan kind of idea. Well, what would that take and what would that look like, right? So let me go back. I'm going to exit out. And I made a little script to test whether or not that was something feasible. Plus, I had to kind of work that out. And that took me a little time, so I didn't want to really bother you with watching me struggle with creating some test environment. But I will let you in on that. It's a little secret, right? So let's go to, actually, we could probably open it from here. If we just say File and go to Open. And there it is, test1 and I'll open that up. So here it is, and it's going to look very similar. Well, I say it looks very similar. It's going to basically kind of mimic what our other script does, but do it very minimalistically, because this is a proof of concept. Can I make this work? And really, my idea was right. I was able to make it work. There was one piece of the puzzle that I wasn't quite sure of, and this was it right here. So I thought to myself, how can I do that? How can I run from the top down and make that an option? So as you can see, we have different options here, just like we do in our real script. Please enter a number. If you press 1, you go to function 1. You press 2, you go to function 2, 3, function 3. And then 4 is going to be the all. Run all the functions. But doing that with functional programming, right, you have to kind of like give it a way to know whether or not it needs to stay in that function, and when that function is done, go somewhere else, like back to the main. Or, and you can do that with user input, right? I could have put, hey, if the user says, hey, I want to go back to main, or I want to go to the function 2, or I want to go to function 3, you can build that functionality in, and obviously that will grow the script in size and scope. But if I just want that all function, I thought, well, I'd use a loop? Maybe I'm going to loop through this, and I chewed on that idea for a hot minute, but I was like, no, that's not what I want. I don't think that's too complex. Let's keep it easy. So this is where this global var1. So all I did was create a variable called var1, and I declared it to be a global variable. That's what I had to look up. I was like, oh, how do I get my variable that I've declared in one function to pass into other functions? How can they see that if they're kind of separated out like that? At first I thought maybe it'll just see it, and I just declared the function and tried to run it. That didn't work. Then I thought, well, maybe if I declare the variable outside of the functions, kind of like in the global scope of the script, maybe that would work. That didn't work either, because then they couldn't see it inside. So I was like, how do I make that happen? And along comes my good friend here, global, right? Declaring a global variable. That was the linchpin to making this work. So what I did, I thought, well, I'll just make it 0 for off and 1 for on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a bit. If it's 0, it's off. Don't worry about it. Do the normal thing. If it's not 0, and really what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to 1. I guess we can get a little more, more control over that in a hot minute. But I think it's just easy enough. No one's going to be reaching into the script and making that change unless they want it to break, or if they wanted to do something else, then they could do that. But what I'm going to do is just say, hey, var1 or var1 is going to equal 0. If that changes to not 0, then do something else, right? So that gives me the ability to change what the script does and modify its behavior. And that was the key to it right here. So as you can see, I've got def main. So I've got a main function. I declare my global variable of var1. I clear the system, I clear the screen using the os.system. I take user input, and this is where our little menu comes in. You have a good time creating a menu. It's hideous, but it works. And then, of course, a bunch of if-else statements. If, and I started with the last one first, right? The number 4. If the user input equals 4, then take var1 and add 1 to it. So this increases it from 0 to 1. And I had some other things in there to make sure that was actually happening, right? And then go to function 1, right? So I want you to start with the first function. Now, let's jump into, well, as you can see, this is kind of like what we've done before as well. If user equals 1, they go to fun1. If user input equals 2, they go to function 2. 3, go to function 3, and 5, exit out. Other stuff, we've seen that, right? Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So if we choose 4, it should take 0, add 1, and then make that the new variable. So var1 should now equal 1 instead of 0. And then function 1, go there. So let's go to function 1. Here it is. Def function 1, if var1 does not equal 0, right? That's that exclamation point equal sign right there. Then OS system clear, print this is function 1, and then go straight to function 2. And if you go to function 2 and var1 does not equal 0, then print this is function, I just put this is fun. I should have put fun2 like that. And then go to function 3. I'll save that. Pretty straightforward, right? And then again, you're going to go to function 3. Down into function 3. If var1 does not equal 0, then print this is function 3. And then go to main, because it's the last function I have. I don't have any other functions. And I did want to stop. This is a little trick that I do, and you've seen this in our actual Linux Priv. A little trick I do to kind of stop, as otherwise it'll just run into main and you won't see anything. So I want it to I want to stop, because what's the first thing that main does? If we go on a main, it clears the screen. Now I might, and it's probably a good idea to take this stuff. So all the output that's being generated by the script, something we'll add to our actual script is to, hey, print this out into a file, and then we can read from the file, or maybe put it inside of a variable. It might be too much information for a variable. It's probably better to put it in like a temporary file, or maybe even a permanent file that we could re-reference from time to time. So that's probably a good idea now that I'm thinking about it. But there you go. Since this is the last one, I want it to stop. Hey, you've reached the end of all the functions. You can see what's printed out on the screen without it being cleared out quite yet. You'll notice that clear is not the first thing that happens here. It is the first thing that happens in function 1, because it's jumping from main into the first function. So you've got a little bit of difference going on in the very first function that you're going to jump into and the very last function you're going to jump into. But otherwise, it's lather, rinse, repeats throughout the various functions that you may have in between those two first and last function. So there it is. And I'm like, okay, is this going to work? Well, let's see. Let's fire it off here. Let's do ./test1.py. Everything's looking good so far. Please enter a number. All right, let's go to 1. And it says this is function 1. Press enter to return to main. Cool. 2. This is fun 2. 3. This is fun 3. And now, if we go to 4, it should run all of them. And look, it does. This is fun 1. This is fun 2. This is fun 3. And this says this is the end. Press enter to return to the main. And bam. My proof of concept has worked itself out. It actually does work. If I do something weird, it should error. It's invalid. Return to main. This is the beauty of functional programming, right? It just runs back to the first thing, even if it's itself. And bam, I'm having a good time. I'm actually pretty happy with this. Now I've got to implement that into my actual script, right? So that's going to be the fun part here, is taking what we've done in test 1 and implementing it into our Linux Priv script so that we can either run optionally or, if we are so inclined, hey, go from top down, run from start to finish, and when you're done, we're done. It's fun, right? Okay. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to have to add this global business right here. You probably want to get a little more creative than var1 because that's not very descriptive, but that's easily done. So let's jump over here to Linux Priv. We will put this in the main function. And did I put that? I'm going to stay kind of parity. Yeah, that is the very first thing I've done. So I don't even talk. I can type. That's not what I'm doing. Oh, I'm losing my mind. There we go. Linux Priv. When tabs are all over the joint, you don't sometimes know which tab to actually click on. You get a little confused. I'm losing my mind, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching me just descend into madness before your very eyes because there's a lot of text on the screen and it's making me go crazy. Okay, let's get back to doing this thing here. All right, into the main function here. And I'll kind of do this. I don't know if that has to be on the first line. I don't think it does, but we'll do it anyway. There we go. So it will be global. Define our global variable. And we will call this... what shall we call this? It's got to be descriptive, right? Well, it doesn't have to be, but I prefer it to be. So that when people read this stuff, it actually makes sense of what they're doing. We'll call this the, that's a real tough question to answer. What is this doing? What would be the technical way to describe what we're doing? I mean, I called it bit flipping, It's what it seems like a flag. We'll call it flag. Let's call it flag. Flag works for me. Whatever. Whatever's clever. So flag 1 equals 0, like so. All right, now that we've got that, we should be able to use that. Now, do I want flag 1? Yeah, I'll make option number 4, the new option number 4, be full scan, like that, and then we'll change this to 5. And we will have to go in here and add a new elif statement because this is going to be 5 now, and we'll have to add, let's see here, elif option equals 4. Then here we go. And now it's going to actually do a little bit extra stuff. So let's remind ourselves of what we're doing. So that's right. We're going to increase var, add that 1 to 0. So just, it could be 2, it could be 10, whatever. As long as it increases or changes from 0. It could actually be a negative number, honestly. As long as it's not 0, everything should work. It's easy to think in terms of bits, right? 1s and 0s, because that's how computers think, and that's how we should be thinking in a lot of ways. So let's say here, flag 1. All right, just flag. Yeah, just flag. Flag is going to equal flag plus 1, like that. All right, once it does that, then we are going to run into our first function. So for us, that's going to be os kernel check. So now we just say OS underscore kernel underscore check. Bang. So that should take us into that function. I'm going to go ahead and save a little, do a little save skis. And let's see here. Now we can come in here. Now we've got to add a little more functionality into our function. I love to say the word function, don't I? It is fun. I don't need you judging me. Stop judging me. Everybody's judging. Just kidding. Having a good time. But we do need some conditional logic to let it know, hey, you know, if this is happening, then don't forget. Let's see here. If was it flag is not equal to 0, then we are going to os.system. We are going to clear the screen like that. And actually, this all works. And we wanted to do that. That is all good. I'm just making sure everything, because I got a little more in here, right? This is just a proof of concept. This is just like, can I make this happen? Now you got to kind of shoehorn that stuff into real code and make it work. This is just jumping, like doing a print statement and jumping to the next thing else. So you're getting some very similar, like almost copy paste code, right? OS system clear, print, this is fun one, print, this is fun one. And then here we have that go to main. So this is where it starts to split off and start to differentiate. And we've got more stuff happening here. So there's going to be a lot of reuse. Maybe revamp this maybe one day where we refactor it and maybe make nested functions, right? It's fun there, doesn't it? Where you have a function inside a function. It's like the movie Inception, except without the weird time thing and little doodads that people carry with them to help keep their head on straight. But we should be pretty good here. I want to do all this really. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy all this stuff. I know, don't copy and paste code, Daniel. I do what I want. Copy. Let's see here. You're like, why shouldn't you copy and paste code? What's wrong with that? It sure is. It sure is like convenient. Let's see here. Now that we have that, which we it's clear. Okay, so there's where we are. I need to kind of go there. Okay, it's gonna break this up. I also need to tab that in. There we go. All right, so it's running that stuff, and then yeah, that totally would be better because there'll be less code as nested functions, right? But I'm not worried about it right now. Again, just want to get things working, keep it simple, and then once it's working, we can come back, refactor, and have some fun. All right, so that's happening. After that, that's when I want to do the I'm going to just print. Here's what I'll do: print. Just kind of break this up a little bit. Give it a little line break, something like that. Print that out, and then I will go to, well, what's the next one? Not OS kernel function. It is root service check. So we want to go to root service check next. So root underscore service underscore check. Bing. And that should be good. Okay, so that part should be working. And now we do an elif statement here, or just else, actually. I mean, I could catch if something goes wrong. Right now, I think I'm just going to do else, like so. And then we have to, if you don't know this, Python is real picky about indentation, right? You have to indent code, or it goes, hey, was expecting an indent, and you didn't do that. Now you'll pay the penalty. No, yeah, but that's kind of actually what does happen. All right, so we're clearing, we're working, tells us where we're at. Bing, bing, bing. That's the issue. Okay, system clear. Do I want that? Why am I clearing after that? That doesn't seem to make sense. I must have grabbed too much stuff. Let's see. Oh, right? Is that what I'm doing? That doesn't make sense to clear the screen after this. So I'm going to take that. You know what I'll do? Because I'm not 100%, I'll just comment it out. And then if everything works according to plan, I can go ahead and remove that. You don't want to start removing, you're like, what did I remove? I don't remember. I need to remember this. So it's easier just when you're making decision, you're like, oh, do I need that? Just comment the thing out, see if everything works, and then come back. So we're going to test this here in just a second because, as you know, I don't like to get too far into the weeds without testing because then you got to go back and make massive changes. All right. That's good. That's good. This was go to main. Bing, bing, bing. This is going to go to root service check. All right. So we got to do the same thing here. So I'm going to kind of just steal this right here. That's all I need to do. I just need to add this kind of thing. I guess I'll copy and paste it. A little bit of this, a little copy, a little pasty. It makes me feel good. All right, bing, and paste it in. Whoa there, compadre. You got a little too... I hate that about this. So shift tab. Yeah, there we go. And, oh, I bet that's where that came from copying and paste. Anyway, we'll see. I'm just seeing like, oh, I've got 2 clears here. That's probably what I did. I just copied over it. Let's see. You don't always see everything you're doing. This is how mistakes happen. This is how bugs in code occur that could lead to system compromise, right? And it's why we all have jobs in cybersecurity for quite some time, because humans make mistakes in their coding. And researchers out there are looking to find them and capitalize on it. So that's what you got to look out for. Do your dynamic and static code analyses for proper security measures. All right, once that happens, I'm just going to kind of break this apart so I can easily see. This needs to be indented. All right, so it clears the screen, and then we're going to basically run this stuff. I guess we can add that here. We've got enough time to do this. Let's see here. We will do clear. We will print root service check function like so. And then we'll actually run the root service check, which is os.system. We'll put that in here as well. And hey, add some more functionality to our function, make it do something, which is going to be psaux pipe grep root. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking for any services that are currently running and running under or as root, right? That can be super helpful. Stole that from Got Milk, right? Like I said, I say steal. I learned it. I learned it from Got Milk, and he was so kind as to put out that wonderful privilege escalation cheat sheet that we're kind of modeling all of this after. And don't worry, by the end of this script, we're actually going to add a ton of functions to it, but we got to make sure everything works right, and then we can come back and make it a little more robust. So that's going to do that, and then we are going to, it'll run, perfect, print. Let's add a big old line, actually, just to keep consistency's sake. Copy, and then I'll just paste over that. There we go. That way everything looks right? It's all the same. And let's see here. It's just giving us a nice line break, that's all. I can see where things tear apart, or just between them. And then I want to go to the next function, which is, looks like SUID GUID check. SUID underscore GUID underscore check. Booyah. And then add my else do this, which is all this action right here, which I can just tab it in. And things are, I think I'm doing this right. I could be easily overlooking why we do tests. It's funny when I watch YouTube videos of people doing stuff like this. I'm going, oh, you forgot the thing. You're gonna have to go back. You don't see it, do you? You don't see it. So I'm sure that's gonna happen to me, because when you're doing the thing and you're trying to look at the camera and like, how much time is this taking? It can get a little like hectic and make you lose where you're at. All right, so on to SUID GUID check. We will add that functionality as well, plus give us the ability to run the full system. All right, so let's grab this, copy, and then run down here and put it in Control V. Beautiful. Make a break in between. All right, so if, and then I'll put else, just to kind of fill that stuff out and go back here. All right, so we're going to do OS system clear, and in here we are going to print, bang, this is SUID / GUID, check, like that, and I'll show you what that looks like, which is os.system, which will be a find command. Basically, you're running a find command. You're going to start at the root of the file system, which is the /, and then you're going to look for permission, a specific permission, based on either the owner of a file or the group owner of the file, which to do that, you do a -u for the owner of the file, and it will say equals S. That's the permission I'm looking for. You can also do this numerically, so I think, I can remember, I think for owner, it's going to be 4,000. So if you want to do it like that, for group, it would be 2,000, like so. So, but I like doing the -u because that's just such an easier way to fly, honestly. So I'm looking for the S bit, which says SUID bit has been set. It is running in the context of another user. Maybe you can abuse that. All right, and then I do a -type of F and to dev null any errors that I might get. Finish out my statement. We'll do another one for, because that's for SUID system. Actually, I'm going to print. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a little beautification here for right now. Print. I'll just do this. Print of SUID check, like that, because I'm kind of doing multiple things here. I know I didn't do it in the service check, but whatever. And then that'll do that. And should I do? That's where I want to start adding beautification. It's a time-consuming thing to start making stuff look nice, but it's not really what I want to get into. So I'm going to print GUID check. Whoa there, Lowry. Back your horse up, son. You gone a little too far past the stall. All right, and then do os.system find / -perm, and this is going to be -g equals S. -type, -type if F to dev null. There we go. Things are looking good. We like it. Let's do this. Oh, I already, dang man, I wish I thought I still had it in the lovely print thing here. My little line break. I thought I still had that in the clipboard. Copy. Paste. Thank you. This was fun. There we go. And then after that, I want to, well, I think that's the last one we have, right? Yeah. There, and it goes back to me. So from there, what did I do in my test? When I was done, I said, oh yeah, press enter to continue. So, oh, I'm sorry, fun3. I just redid the go to main function, which makes me think that's redundant. It makes me think, like, you don't have to do this. Oh, but you know what I don't want it to do? I don't want it to clear the screen. That's the one non-redundant thing. You'll notice that these things are basically the same thing, but I don't want it to clear the screen because it'll clear out everything we've done, and that's not what I want to do. So, because of that minor change, guess what? Well, that's right. You got it. We have to do an else of something different. This will be, but I will put the go to main function in there, which is equals input. Press enter to, I'll say full scan complete. Full scan I got press full scan complete. I'm crazy. scan completed, press enter to return to main function, CTION. There we go. Looking good, my friends, looking good. All right. And then it is main, like so. Okay. I like what I see. I'm happy with everything. I just have to indent this. Well, hey there, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time to do some testing. Let's test a roo. I don't want to make this go too long. 5, exit this. All right, /Linux privesc. Here we go. 1 OS kernel check, which it did do, but you know, remember I actually commented out that OS system clear. It's not doing it here because that's where it goes. My cut. Oh no. Just do that. Triple click. Cut. There we go. And then go to here. This is why we test. Control V. I don't know why I did that. Bam. But this, I do not want to do that. There we go. And I can actually take this line out. I don't need that. That's all completely redundant. This is completely redundant. It does nothing, right? We already have that in there. That was a placeholder for us remembering things. All right, save that. Let's go back. Fire out that test again. This time, exit. Yeah, okay, so 5 is working. That's good. Everything seems to be working generally, right? So let's do it again. Linux privesc. Cleared the screen. 1. That looks better. Press enter to return to main. That looks good. 2. All right, root service check. Oh, because I didn't add it to the... I didn't actually do anything in the root service check for if we weren't running from top down. See, I just cleared the screen. So let's do that. We got this. We just need this line right here. Copy. Put it a little bit right there. There we go. Control S. Again, this is why we test. Go to main. 5, restart the script so it's working with the correct thing. 2, hey, look at that. That looks good. 3 probably did the same thing there. Yeah, let's go back. 5, exit out. I forgot to fill in those little important pieces of, hey, do stuff. Root service, SUID, GUID, here we go. Yeah, I didn't actually do anything in here. I just need to copy what looks like this. Copy, go here, paste it in. I guess I don't need this, which is fine. Let's take that out. Isn't it fun testing stuff? Control S. Yeah, there we go. Saved. Let's try again. All right, go to, what was it, 3? 3 is doing stuff. Excellent. Yay. And look, you see it said GUID check there. We got our line break. That looks cool. Return to main function. And now the coup de grace 4. Will it run all these things in succession? Here we go. It did do that. Full scan completed. But let's see here. So it jumped right into there. So we got some logic issue we got to go figure out. All right, no problem. I know where the problem is, right? It's in 4. So if I come down here, I say 4. Oh, it's going to OS kernel check, which is basically the first function. But that's not what it did, right? So it jumped into here and it went straight to SUID GUID check. Why did it do that? I want to say, why did it do that? So GUID check, right? And then this should go to main. This should go to main. Why did it jump right in there? This is a good question. Flag equals flag plus 1. Flag equals 0. Flag equals flag plus 1. it went straight to that. It went straight to that one. Why did it do that? OS kernel check, which is the first option, is where it should have went. So if I push option 4, let's go try it again. Or at least let's look at our output, which I can't. It's just running that. Okay. That's here's where you can start changing things. First thing I want it to do is if I do option 4, I want to print. Here's what I'm going to check. Flag. And then after this, I'm going to print flag again to see what the heck is going on with flag, because if flag changes, right, it should not equal 0 at that point. And then I'll do just random or just var1 equals input so that I can stop it. It's my little check for press enter to just press enter. I'm gonna get fancy. Okay, and that should stop it from moving on, and then it should go to OS kernel check. If everything goes according to plan, that should work. Ooh, live debugging. Man, that is fun. All right, exit out. Let's go back. Press 4. All right, so that is interesting. So flag is printing a 0. Then it did flag plus 1, which is now 1. I press enter, and it takes me straight to SUID GUID check. This is interesting. This is an odd problem. And we might have to wait for the next one, man. I'm going to have to like debug this and then come back and show you how I figured out what the problem is. Because, so we do have flag. It should go straight to OS kernel check. So let's say that it does that. Let's say it jumps to OS kernel check. And it says if flag does not equal 0, you should do this, which it should do. But it didn't. That is really, really strange. Okay. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to go to SUID GUID check, and I'm going to say, print flag, and see what is going on with flag. All right, so I know it's in there. I know that's where it's going. I just don't know why. Do this, 5 exit, bring it back up. 4, press enter. You'll notice. Oh, you know why? Because it cleared the screen. Stinking screen clearing weirdos. So let's go here. We'll just take that out. And the first thing I will do is print flag. And then I'll put that here as well, just in case. Because I want to see what's going on. I want to know, why are you doing this? Why are you acting crazy, my script? Why do you betray me in front of all these wonderful people that are watching? Going, Daniel doesn't know what he's doing. You're right, I don't. I have no idea why this is happening. All right, press enter. All right, so that is strange. So it did say, right there it is, right there. SUID GUID check. There's flag. There's the value of flag. It's going to 1. Ooh, this is a very interesting thing. You crazy nut, you. Why are you doing this? Well, I've got myself a little mystery to solve of why is it jumping into SUID GUID. Somebody's out there going, Daniel, it's right in front of you. You're looking right at it. Just click the thing and make the change and you'll be where you need to be. But I do not see it. And I don't know if you've heard of pair programming, but this is why you do pair programming. You have another person there with you working on it. They might see something that you're not seeing and therefore remove the bugs, or there'll be less bugs because of that. That's the idea anyway. This is really weird. I don't get why that's happening. OS kernel check, root service check, then to SUID GUID check. From there, go to main. All right. That is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Let me go to my test. Let's take a look here. And this ended up working really well. So why doesn't it do the same thing? var1 blah, 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 blah. Dang, I did. This was like the first one. Maybe I do that, right? That is the one kind of variation from what I hear. I put this one at top. All right. Maybe that's the issue. I have no idea, honestly. It's an easy change to make, though. All right, this is going to be the last thing I try. If this doesn't work, we'll call it a show. At least, we've got the stuff in there, and it does actually, some of the functionality has been built out. In theory, it should be working working from top down. Let me try this one time. And here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, or actually cut that. Go here and Control V. Change this to an if. Change this to an L if. Take that out. And then there we go. Hopefully, Control S. That is okay. So we know flag is being printed correctly. I'll just comment this stuff out. Bing, bing, bing. Oh. Don't need that either. Was it asking me to press enter? Go back. It was not. Interesting. Oh, or was it clearing the screen after that? Huh. Very interesting. Right? Because I put this var1 input press. Oh, no, it did do that. I remember seeing that. That's right. Oh, you see, you're stuck going down the rabbit holes. Freaking out, man. Freaking out. Comment that out. Let's try it. Control S. Oh, no, I actually need this one. Don't get crazy. Control S. I need that in there. Okay, here we go. The last hurrah. Last hurrah. Exit out. Try it. Sometimes. Random thing. I'll try this first. If that doesn't work, I got actually one little more thing I can try. One little more thing. All right, full scan. I saw it. It actually ran. It went slow enough. So it is doing it, but I'm clearing screens. That is what seems to be the issue. And that's the problem. Oh, look at this. Silly boy. Silly boy. You crazy nut, you. What are you doing clearing? Whoa, Control Z that. A little too much. Oh there, don't get crazy. You're losing your mind in front of everybody. They're like, he is talking to himself again. And I kind of like watching him, go crazy in front of my eyes. Let's see what this does. I'm betting that this is going to be our win right here. This is going to be it. Everybody, drum roll, please. There we go. And number 4. Oh. Look at that. It's raining. It's doing a full scan. Oh, I love every last second of it. And now I can just kind of like scroll through. There's all the lovely stuff, right? That's a lot. Yeah, look at that. OS kernel function. Yes. That's the problem when you clear the screens. You lose that output. It does no longer exist. All right, so that's good. Just cleaning up a little bit because that's weird for it to be out of order. I'm going to change that. We'll go back to the way it was. We can take these out. Take that. Whoa. Take that. Why do you keep over scrolling? Jeez. Control Z. Thank you. There we go. Crazy people work here. And cut. Go back to, where is it? Here. Control V. Change this to elif. Change that back to if. and Control S to save. Everything should be working again. Yeah, it's all good in the hood. Hey, we did some stuff. We had some fun. Things are running the way we want. So now we have the two options of, hey, you know what? If I want to run it modularly, I can pick, hey, I just want to run a SUID GUID check. I just want to run a root service check, get that output, work with it, look at it, think about it. And if I want, I can come back and do it again, right? Or just rip it, right? Go for broke, have a great time, find your way through it. Whew, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but it was worth it. We had a little bit of struggle, right? We had to get our hands dirty. We had to think some things through and go, why is this there? Had to debug, right? I feel good. I feel like I've learned something, right? Always check. And we saw some good ways to test for, hey, why is this going wrong? What's happening here? Test our code to make sure it's running the way we think it should be running. Getting that output, everything is doing what I think it should be doing, and it's showing me that so that I could find that proper spots and make those changes. And you never know, sometimes serendipity occurs and it goes just slow enough that you see, and then it's clearing my screen, that kind of stuff. So you got to keep your eyes open, and you never know. Every now and then you just got to show it to somebody else and go, what am I doing here? Why is this happening? And they go, hey, you're clearing the screen. They'll look right at it. You're clearing the screen. Why are you doing that? That's why you're not seeing this. Oh, there it is, facepalm, right? So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is part 3 of our little script here. We've had some really good stuff. This actually does things now. Really, what we have left to do, we got a lot of left to do, some beautification and whatnot. But there is that part where we wanted to talk to GTFO bins and do some comparisons. So that's probably going to be a big lift. I'll probably have to do some off-camera work and study just to make it useful, kind of like what I did with that test.py file. But that's okay. We'll work our way through it. I'll make sure that you understand everything that I was thinking of as I work through it, and probably work through a few things and debugging as well. So that's that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, comments. I love comments. Please comment and please subscribe. That said, until next time, have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you later.